Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew and today I want to talk a little bit more about my carnivore journey. So if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. Now, I want to talk about this. The whole thing came up, the whole video idea came up due to the fact that when I was reading some comments the other day, talking about like all of the benefits that I've received since starting this carnivore journey. I seen a couple people say that it was a placebo effect. And that got me thinking. That made me like take a step back and kind of reassess the whole situation and kind of give a lot more thought to the stuff that I've been feeling. So I've been wearing my watch to bed, tracking my sleep patterns, stuff like that. You know, trying to get a gauge for exactly how things are really going, and if this is some sort of a placebo effect, or if I'm actually just finally providing my body with the right food to be able to optimize my experience and my body as a human. So tonight, when I was sitting down to eat my dinner, tonight I had 5 strips of bacon and a ribeye, 10-ounce ribeye, and I was sitting there, and I was eating that, and I was thinking about, like, I was thinking about the overwhelming, and I'm not just saying that, I'm talking about overwhelming amount of things that have drastically changed in my body, and you as a human, like you know, like when your body is not feeling good, when you're not feeling optimal, you feel like garbage. Like every morning I would get up and I would rock myself, for a minute, and like rub all the goopies out of my eyes and sit there and kind of breathe for a second, and it would take me a few minutes to actually start moving. Like because of the YouTube channel, I was having to wake up earlier so that I could read comments and all of that stuff. And I would sit there and I would have to rock myself just to like kind of get like the blood moving. Like my lower back was hurting, my joints would ache all the time. My shoulder had been in pain for like 10 years, and now it just feels incredible. So I was thinking, after reading those comments, people talking about a placebo and stuff, and that got me thinking, like, because there are a lot of things out there that to where somebody can misconstrue, like the honeymoon effect, stuff like that. But today is my 21st day of being on the carnivore diet, and for a minimum of 2 weeks of that, my body had started going through these changes. My digestive tract, first and foremost, has completely overhauled itself. I do not wake up in the morning having to run straight to the bathroom. I do not wake up in the morning feeling bloated or feeling like my stomach is in pain or having like intense hunger pains anymore. That whole thing, like my stomach, I don't get acid reflux. I don't pass gas. I'm not passing gas. And you can ask my wife, I used to be able to pass gas literally on command. And now I haven't farted in probably like, since I was watching like Harry Homesteader, Carrie from Homesteaders, and he was saying something like that. And ever since I saw that video like a week and a half ago or like 2 weeks ago, I've been actively like trying to pay attention to that, and it just doesn't happen anymore. So I mean, right there, just those internal changes in my digestive tract, that right there has led me to believe that like things are different now. I think I feel like I used to be like borderline IBS, because when I would go to the bathroom, I'd be in there for like 30 minutes and I would still come out sometimes feeling like I wasn't fully relieved or whatever. And now I'm in and out in like 3 minutes. It's like 3 minutes every day, and it's not like this struggle anymore. It just, I just go to the bathroom, I come out, and I feel good. Like, and I don't have to go again until the very next morning at the same time. I haven't had to do any like mid stops at work or anything like that in well over 2 weeks now. So that right there makes me feel like that's part of like my body like re-optimizing itself and working efficiently. Overall, my overall energy levels for this last, so I mean, we're 3 weeks now into this. For at least the last 2 weeks, my overall energy levels have been steady. And when I mean steady, I mean I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and I go to bed around 10 o'clock at night. Before going on Carnivore, and these are like things that like I can actively, look back and test. So before Carnivore, I like for the last 5 months, I was starting to get worse. Like every day, things were just starting to not be optimal at all. Like I was feeling sicker, my joints were hurting more, my arm was in a bad place, my back was killing me. Just every day, like I was starting to have, like not necessarily like breathing issues, but like I was, like when I'd be making videos and stuff all the time, if you go back and watch my old videos, you'll hear me snorting and stuff like that, and like clearing my sinuses and stuff that are actually feeling a lot more optimal right now than they have in a very long time. But when I go back and I look at like my sleeping patterns, throughout a week, I'd go to work, I'd come home. Some days I would have to come straight in here and take a nap. I'd set an alarm clock, I'd nap for about an hour. Saturdays, Sundays, I would literally sleep almost all day Saturday, every Saturday. I would sleep for a very long time, and then I'd get up, and then I'd have to stay up late trying to play through the games and stuff that I'm trying to review and stuff. And people always ask me, like, hey man, you buy all these games and you don't finish a lot of them. And to be completely honest, it's just I didn't really have the energy to do that. It was either sit here and make content or play video games. And trying to grow my channel, I was more focused on putting whatever energy I had toward that. So when I actually did have a good day and I was able to get through a game, that was pretty cool. And I mean, this year I have been able to move things around and try to be able to get through a lot more games and to get more playtime. But this last few weeks has been measurable beyond means. Like I've been able to actively measure the changes that are happening so rapidly in my body that it's like all of my ailments have either gone away or are on their way out. And that is incredible. That leads me to believe that what I'm doing now, the food that I'm eating now, the things that I'm utilizing to put into my body are actually more optimized for my specific DNA. And that's kind of the way I'm looking at this going forward. Because once you get into this whole thing and you start watching other videos, the people that I watch the most are Carrie the Homesteader guy and Dr. Gosh dang it, what's his name? Perry or Barry? Dr. Ken Barry. So those are the guys that I'm watching. Those are the only two that I'm really, watching and listening to what they say. Carrie more because he, like I feel like we're having pretty close, similar experiences. And then Dr. Ken Barry because he's like putting all the work into like the research, and he's doing all this stuff. He's helping his patients and stuff like that. So I look at these two situations, and then I look at my own situation. And when I hear people say that it's a placebo effect, or that, people telling me, no, man, you can't eat just meat. It's like bad for you. It's bad for your cholesterol. It's bad for this. It's bad for that. And then I'm like, and then that just makes me think, I'm like, and the sugar wasn't like all the sugar I was eating, all the carbs I was eating, like that was good for me. And my body felt super unhealthy, and I just felt like a train wreck most of the time. But now that I'm good, and I'm feeling optimized, and I'm feeling optimal, and I'm feeling like I have energy, and I feel stronger. You're telling me what I'm putting in my body now is bad, or that it's some sort of placebo? Now, 21 days is the amount of time that they say it takes to form a habit. We are at the 21-day mark with my overall, just eating meat, carnivore, whatever you want to call it, elimination diet, or whatever makes you happier or whatever makes you easier for you to sleep at night, whatever. I don't feel like this is any kind of placebo whatsoever. I don't. I feel like I am optimal. I feel like I'm getting better. I feel like the things that were severely holding me back and degrading my quality of life have simply like started going away, or they're gone, to a point where I can function and I feel good about what I'm doing. I've been to work every day for the last couple of weeks and I haven't came home and felt like I needed to take a nap. I felt really good. Well, actually, that's kind of a lie. Yesterday, I did come home feeling a little bit tired, and then I kind of know what I did. Like, I only ate 5 strips of bacon last night for dinner, and then so yesterday, well, not last night, but the night before, and so when I went to work, I just didn't have that. I just didn't have that energy. So I did come home feeling tired yesterday. Slept for about an hour. Woke up, ate a big dinner last night. Today, perfect energy the whole day through. Not an issue, no problems whatsoever. So when I started tracking like all of these things that are happening in my body, and like today, like my lower back pain is almost completely gone. Like I normally I would be sitting here and my back would be hurting, and like that's completely, like, my back does not hurt at all right now. It actually feels loose. It actually feels good. Like, I feel like I could do some stretching, all kinds of stuff. And these are things that I would struggle with before. When I started this diet, I was about 335 pounds. I'm down to 318 pounds right now, give or take 318, 317. It has started to slow down. That first couple of weeks, I dropped a lot of weight really fast. Now it's starting to I think I've been about 318, 317 for about the last week. And I wasn't eating as much fat as I am this week, so I'm kind of trying to see if, I've been trying to do the bacon a lot more regularly to kind of add a little bit more fat to my diet to see if maybe that will help kickstart the ketosis even more. It helped me start burning the fat faster. But I don't expect see, here's the thing with me. Like, I don't expect this like overnight transition of like my body weight. It took me 10 years to put this on. I'm here for the long run. The overall effect and the overall clarity, mental clarity, everything that I've gotten from the diet so far is more than enough for me to continue doing what I'm doing. I mean, even if I'm not losing like 10 pounds a week, that's perfectly fine. I'm okay with that. Like, I'm comfortable with that. As long as my body still feels good like it does right now, and I can move around and do what I need to do, perfect. That is 100% perfect. One of the things I want to say, because I had a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, like 3.5 weeks ago, I sat down and I prayed. I was having a really tough day at work. Like, my body was really struggling. I was, really not feeling good. My partner, he's going to be retiring in March, and then it's going to kind of be all on my shoulders from that point forward. So I did. I sat down and I prayed, and I was like, Heavenly Father, I need a way to get my body back into shape. I'm only 40 years old. I need to find a way to repair my body and to be able to do my job for at least the next 25 years or however long it is until I get to retire. I need to be okay, because where I was at 3 weeks ago and where I'm at right now, that is far more than a placebo. And here's the rest of the story. And this is why I thank God that like, and this is the reason why I continue to believe that God's real and that God loves us and he cares for us. I mean, it even says it in the Bible, ask and you shall receive. And so I prayed. And then a couple days later, I don't ever get on Facebook. Like, I avoid Facebook like the plague. And I don't know why. I mean, it's not like it's terrible or anything, or more worse than anything I do. But I avoid Facebook. But I just had this urge to like click on the Facebook button. And then right there at the very top, my brother, we share the same DNA. He's what, 6 years older than I am. And he says, hey man, I've been on this carnivore diet now for 30 days and I've lost X amount of weight and I feel fantastic. I've been watching this dude, Ken Berry, Dr. Ken Berry, over on YouTube. And right there, right then and there, I knew. Because I'd already been kind of thinking about carnivore, a little bit. Like I'd had it in my mind, and I was just like, I don't know if I could do the meat. And I'd always come up with the excuses of why I couldn't do it. It's too expensive, blah blah blah. But I'm a very, what's it called? I'm a very learned person that can figure stuff out pretty quickly usually. And I found a cheap way to get started into carnivore that is not only cost effective, but it gives me the amount of food I need to sustain myself very, very well. So when I saw that from my brother, and then I started doing that, and now the way I feel 21 days later, feeling freaking super optimal and really good, having solid mental clarity, being able to come together with ideas and not feel like super anxiety or like my ADD even feels like it's getting better. I'm not even joking. And to be able to like string all of this together and like put myself in a position to where I can figure this out. Now, what I did, because I'm buying food for my whole family, but I have to be able to carve out what I'm going to eat and still not go over our budget. So when we go to Costco, I'll buy 5 pounds of stewing beef, and then I'll break that up, and separate that out for 5 days, my work days. And that's what I eat. Salty beef nuggets. That's what I'm eating. Because that meat's kind of high in fat, whatever. I mean, it's not like it's the best cut of meat or whatever, but it's good enough. It's good enough. It's better than hot dogs. It's better than bologna, and it's definitely better than Spam. So, I mean, I'm eating that. That's what I'm eating. That's what I chose, and that's been sustainable so far. I'm getting about a pound of bacon. I'm eating like 5 strips of that. I'm putting that in, and I'm doing either a chuck steak or a ribeye at night so that I have something, to eat at night. And that's pretty much been my diet for the last 2 weeks. I have tried some chicken and some other stuff like that, but chicken just doesn't seem to be as satiating as beef, nor does pork. I do want to kind of try some big meaty pork chops. Eventually, I want to fry some of those up and see how those are. See if those will give me that full feeling like the beef does, because the beef is just out of this freaking world, like handling it. So when I look at everything, and when I go back across the last 21 days and I think about things and I put things into perspective, and I listen to like some of the other feedback that I get from, like these other channels, and some of the feedback that I get from the community, and taking these comments into consideration, and I ask myself, I'm like, dude, is this a placebo effect? Are you suffering from the honeymoon phase? I don't feel like I'm suffering from like a honeymoon phase or a placebo effect. I'm actively feeling real change, and you can tell, like, your body, when things change, and they change rapidly and dramatically, and they stay consistent from that point on, and they can gradually get better. They get consistent, and then they gradually get better. Like, you can tell that is positive forward motion that you're feeling. And that started with my digestive tract. That was probably the quickest one, because I've always eaten meat, but I've always, had all of the other, the junk and nonsense in there. So my body already knew how to do, already knew what to do with, some of the meat, I believe. And so when I switched over and I just started doing the meat, my digestive tract changed very, very rapidly. I don't think I went through more than a day or so of diarrhea. Like, it was quick. And then I could feel the, like, my body starting to take up that nourishment. Because normally if your stomach is full and it stays full, like, you feel bloated. And I'm not getting that bloated feeling whatsoever. I'm not getting, like, I'm not feeling bloated. I'm not feeling like when I go to the bathrooms in the morning, it's pretty quick now. It's quick and easy. I get out of there really quickly. And I feel relieved. When I'm eating and stuff, I feel like my body's not working overtime. Like, I don't feel drained at all anymore. I'm eating at a specific time, mostly every day, so that I could kind of keep track of how it feels and stuff. And when I go to sleep and I wake up in the morning and I feel rejuvenated and I feel good. like these are just things that, not passing gas anymore, like being like really like that alone is incredible. And like I told you before, my wife could attest to this, that I could pass gas on command, like no problem. But it's been significantly, like I can't remember the last time I broke wind, to be completely honest with you. I really cannot remember the last time. And then, like other things that we kind of take for granted, like our joints, our joint pain, our joint health, feeling really good in my joints. They don't hurt no more. I'm not experiencing any pain when I move around and stuff. My lower back just this week has started to get significantly better each and every day. Like I said, my shoulder, my arm, my leg, there's no more burning sensation. I don't have any like issues with my feet anymore. Like there are some, like some other things, like maybe like some acne or stuff like that. But I've never really been like a really big person to get a whole lot of acne. So that's not something that I've had to deal with. Things just feel better. My sinuses feel better. I'm not snorting like through half of my videos anymore all the time. I'm still getting a dry mouth from the salt and stuff. It's not as bad as it was, but I'm still doing that. But like the changes that I'm receiving for the very low amount of work that I'm putting into this, I've literally just changed my diet. And I have been, like working out, like doing some arm things and stuff. I really, like the day that I realized that my arm wasn't hurting no more, I did a whole bunch of like working out, did a whole bunch of lifting and stuff. And then for the next couple of days, I had that like that feeling. I had pain, but it wasn't the pain of like, oh my gosh, this burns. It was the pain of like actually like my muscles were like rebuilding themselves after a workout. You break your muscles down and then they hurt for a couple of days. That's the pain. And like I was like, oh my gosh, this feels so amazing. And then to be able to come back and feel good. Like the whole thing is like, you say it's a placebo. When I call it, when I believe that my body's in more of an optimal state, I feel like my body's being optimized because I'm feeding it the right type of fuel that it needs to be able to be to running at its peak. Like I feel like I'm running my body at a peak at, with peak ingredients, like, I mean, if you put lighter fluid in your car, it's not going to run that great, as opposed to putting, like your 95, octane in there. If you're using lighter fluid, you're not going to get the best results. But if you got the right fuel in there, you're going to get the high performance. You're going to get everything that your body needs. And that's kind of what I feel like I'm fueling myself with now, is that optimal, top of the line octane freaking fuel that's gonna give me better gas mileage. It's gonna give me better run time. It's gonna keep things cleaned out better because it's gonna burn at the right ratio. You know what I mean? Like you really can liken this to a car engine. Like your body is a car engine, and if you put in the right fuel and the right the right oil and all of that stuff, and you maintain it, it's going to operate at peak performance. What we've been putting in our freaking bodies for this long with all the carbs and all of that, it's like lighter fluid. We've been giving ourselves lighter fluid and trying to run like the Indy 500. It's just not going to work, because that's basically what life is right now. It's the Indy 500. We're doing laps and laps and laps and laps. And we're not taking care of ourselves. We're not putting on the freaking right. We're not putting in the right oil. We're not putting in the right fuel. We're not getting the mixtures right. We're not getting enough air intake. All of this stuff, it all comes down to how this stuff, how it's utilized and how the energy is expended when it's combusted in the chamber. That in your stomach is your combustion chamber. Like you're firing on all cylinders if you're putting the right optimal fuel into your body, and that's the way I feel running on meat. I feel optimized. I feel like I'm running on the best freaking on the best octane I could put in there right now, and I'm just like, woo, man! All that, it feels great. It really does feel great. I don't wake up with headaches anymore. I'm not passing gas. My body doesn't freaking hurt every day. I've got better mental clarity. I can speak better. I feel better. I feel smarter. I feel more in tune and more alert with what's going on in my surroundings and everything. You don't understand that, like, when you're eating all them carbs, and I mean, obviously you could try to lie to yourself however you want. You're sluggish. Your brain's not firing on all cylinders. You're cloudy most of the time. You're more reactionary than you are. Like, this is an incredible breakthrough that I think that more people should actually try. And in closing this one here, I wish that, like, some of these doctors, and like Dr. Kemberry and some of these other guys, I wonder if this is going to be more of a thing that's going to be optimal for specific DNA types. My DNA is, like, Norwegian, German, England, whatever. So I mean, it's like I feel like we ate a lot more meat. Like, my ancestors ate a lot more meat, whereas, like, somewhere, in like a tropical area or something like that, maybe they were getting more fruits and vegetables and berries and whatever in their diet. So maybe it is diet specific, and maybe there are those people out there that are vegan that are truly thriving on that diet because their ancestors thrived on that diet for tons and tons and tons of, generations and years. And maybe like somewhere from like my DNA, or somebody from my DNA is going to thrive more on like a full meat diet. I do believe that that's a possibility. So I do believe that, like, every person could potentially be different. And, like, I don't necessarily think that these diets are going to work for everybody, but it is something that, like, getting rid of the carbs, I do think that there is a significant change. It doesn't matter where your DNA is from or what your ancestors are like. I think the carbs are going to freaking kill everybody. I think they are so dangerous, it's not even funny. So I've been moving as far away from that as I can, and I would literally eat bar-S hot dogs over carbs if I had to choose. So if you guys like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know how you're feeling in the comments section. Tell me your stories. Let me know how you're feeling. Tell me where you are in your journey. If you have questions about where to even just start, hit me up. I will try to point you in the right direction. I've been watching Dr. Kemberry and the homesteaders. His name is Kerry. Very, very cool guy. You just look up Carnivore and, like, you'll probably find him pretty quickly. He's out there a lot, trying to do the best that he can for, like, the carnivores and stuff. And very awesome, man. Very awesome guy. Very, very cool. Very easy to listen to, and very relatable. That's like one thing. This guy is very relatable, as is Dr. Kemberry. Both of these guys are very relatable. They're not too pushy. They're not like, they're not freaking out on you for your life choices. They feel like my type of people. Like, they're trying to help you. They want to help you. They want to see you be successful, and they're not going to, like, judge you or point fingers and stuff. I like these guys. I think they're pretty cool. So, like I said, we'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching, and thank you for paying attention to my story. And hopefully all the information that I give you is helpful. So we'll see you guys in the next one.